When you're working on a script, there has to come a point where everybody agrees, okay, this is the script that we're working with, and this is the script on which basis we're going to do our pre-production and our planning. But of course, it's pretty common after the event for you to discover that some revisions are necessary, particularly during the rehearsal phase where you might have a performer who just can't do a line and you realize you need to make some changes. And there are several ways that you can work with scripts in Story to support this, and a couple of features in particular. Just one very simple feature is if you're looking at a scene, let me bring up my listings here. Let's say I'm working on, here we go, scene number 5, and I decide for whatever reason that this scene needs to be omitted. But of course, I don't want to delete anything. I want to be able to always get that text back just in case. So I can go to the production menu and I can just choose omit scene. And if I choose omit scene, you can see that the scene number is still there. It's still on the list. If I bring up the outline panel, you can see it's there, although it's omitted. And I can kind of treat it like a part of my script and benefit from the metadata associated with it, but it's not going to be on the page for people to read. So if I print the document, which of course I can do very easily from the file menu, then people aren't going to be reading that part of the text. So that's one thing you can do. You can also then position the cursor somewhere in that word, go back to the production menu and choose unomit scene, and that's going to bring the scene right back again. But then there's also another phase here where you can create a revision. So I'm going to go to the production menu and I'm going to choose Start Revision. And I get to choose a color for new text edits. I don't really need to manage this yet, but you can see I can specify for this particular color of revision a mark. I can specify a date, so as of this date the revision was applied, if I want bold text and so on, and where I want the text to appear inside the script. I'm pretty happy with that. If I choose lock all pages, then as the wording implies, Story is going to lock down the pages that are there so that I know, for example, page 8 has these words on it, and I can use that page number as a meaningful reference when I'm doing my scheduling and production planning. Any revisions will be added to an inserted page, and this is very much the traditional way of working with scripts once you've got an official revision for it. So I'm going to say, okay, lock all pages, and let's start this revision. And here we go. Production revisions are on for this script, and your active revision is blue. So if I now say, let's find here, I want Lawkeeper Mesa to say some more stuff. I'm going to press the carriage return key here. I'm going to say, here are some more words for you. And it's particularly important that you keep an eye on the words that are being spoken. Okay, so what's happened? Well, for a start, you can see, and I'm just going to clear out this panel here, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit. There's a zoom control at the bottom right here of the panel. Here, I've got my original content, my original dialogue. Notice that the revision I've applied has been put onto another page, which has got the number 8A. So the original was page 8, and 8A is the insert. And then that way, the original text that was on page 9 is still on page 9, and the original text that was on page 8 is still on page 8. So I'm locking down the pages and maintaining the numbering system. So let's create another revision. I'm going to go to the production menu, choose new revision. This time we're going for pink image. Let's find out what goldenrod looks like. Here we go, change the revision again. So notice that the original revision now has gone into black text, where production revisions are on for this script. So now I'm going to go in again and I'm going to start adding some more text. So here is some more dialogue. And then let's go for Paladin. Really? Do you really think we need even more dialogue? And then the orb's going to kick in. Let's go for another character. Yep. Yes, indeed. I think we do. Now, I'm just working my way down here to get onto another page. So, Paladin. Okay, then what do you want to talk about? up because, to be honest, I'm not sure if this writer can type properly. Okay, orb, okay, and teacher perhaps is going to arrive. Here are some more words, and eventually we'll make it onto, yep, a new page. And there we have it. Now we're on page 8AA. So we were originally on page 8. We added a first wave revision. There it is on page 8A. And again, to maintain which page had the original text on it, now instead of pushing the content on page 9 further down the script, potentially onto page 10, we've got an 8AA, and so on and so on and so on as you add revisions. All of this is the case really, not so much because I'm creating revisions, but because I have the pages locked. If I go back to my production menu and choose Unlock Pages, are you sure? Yes. And now we're back to a new numbering convention. So now we are on page 9 with the new content and page 10, and we're pushing the original text out of the way. I can also go back into the production menu and stop the revision. And now I'm just back to regular text, and I can carry on working on my script. Of course, the idea of working on revisions is simply that it's a way of highlighting very, very clearly changes that you've made to the text after that important cutoff date where everyone has a copy of the script and everybody knows what they're working with. So that's just a standard feature built into Adobe Story.